Hi everyone, I know I haven't been uploading as consistently as you guys would hope, but I've been really busy with my university and my part-time job, so you guys might be getting one video every 2 weeks, but my goal will be to make one video every week, so pray that I stick to that schedule. Greed, hatred, and selfishness. These are just some of the themes explored in There Will Be Blood. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my review of the movie that I consider as the greatest film of all time. Films have been a great part of my childhood. That isn't something unique per se, but it feels great to know that I haven't missed out on some of the best pieces of media. Nowadays, most people, including teenagers and young adults, waste their time following social media trends and bombard themselves with low-effort content consistently, which is very sad, especially with the rise of AI content. It is very scary to imagine that in future, most of the content on YouTube is going to be AI generated. And some people are already experimenting with creating feature films with AI. With the sheer magnitude of AI content in their faces, it will be hard for the next generations to watch a movie like this. And even if they do watch it, they probably won't be able to appreciate it enough. There Will Be Blood makes it clear from the get-go that you better take it seriously. It instantly grabs your attention. There is no dialogue, just a man down a hole, mining for something. That something turns out to be silver. However, the miner has to pay a hefty price for the silver. But with the help of this newly acquired material, Daniel Plainview is able to fund his oil business. When this movie began, it didn't seem like that this movie could be anything special. But if you also got that impression like me, oh, how wrong we are. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I have said that good characters are the most important thing for me when it comes to movies and television. This movie is just that, a movie that quenches my thirst for wonderfully well-written characters. Most of the movie is set in early 1900s Southern California. The attention to detail of this time period is really well done. You just feel as if you have been transported to the past when you watch this movie. This is mostly due to Paul Thomas Anderson's vision. There is no scene in this movie that is wasted. I have seen this movie over 3 times now, and even after watching it so many times, There Will Be Blood provides me with a new detail each time, which I had overlooked in the previous watching. Almost all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies need to be watched multiple times to really understand what's going on. These movies are masterpieces really, with a lot of thought and effort put into making them. There is a reason why Paul Thomas Anderson takes his time with releasing a new movie. And you bet your grandma that I will be watching one battle after another when it releases in September. But not only that, I will definitely be taking a deeper dive into his movies and him as a director as well. But for this video, I'm going to sell this movie to you. If for some odd reason you have never seen it, there is actually a reason that I'm doing this. This movie is my favorite movie of all time. For me, nothing else comes close to it. The year is 2018. I am in my final year of middle school. Now back in those days, I was very awkward and shy, which was mainly due to puberty hitting me like a train wreck, as it does most teenagers. That doesn't mean I didn't have friends. But even the friends that I did have were the type to watch movies instead of hanging outside. So that is what we usually did. Watch movies, anime, and TV shows. I remember I would finish an anime or movie and be excited to tell my friends about it the next day in school. Most of my days were spent watching only movies. I had nothing else to do. Or you could say, I didn't want to do anything else. It was around this time that I had experienced this movie. I did not share this experience with my friends because they were not into movies like this. I went into this movie blind. I did not know what it was about, and I also didn't know if it was historically accurate or not. The younger version of me didn't care about those things. I just liked the idea of myself being transported into a different world. Movies gave me the ability to see the lives of individuals whom I would never be able to even imagine being. So, when I started watching this movie, I was engulfed by the realism it portrayed. I was lost for words. Every scene was engaging and thrilling. The relationship between Daniel and HW, the questions it arose, questions like whether he is truly the father or not. The crookedness of Daniel Plainview's character, how at one point you seem to be enamored by him, but then in the next scene you are literally scared of the monstrosity that oozes out of him. Some of the scenes had me trembling. A scene in this movie where you really feel the gravitas of Daniel Day-Lewis's performance is the church confession scene. His acting is truly marvelous here. You know an actor is good when he can make you understand what is going through his mind without uttering a single line. Yes, he is confessing the things that Eli wants him to, but he gives Eli this look of mockery that is so very realistic as he is doing so. And then when Eli starts to slap him, his anger turns to amusement, as he knows how desperate Eli actually is to put on a show for his church members just so that they would believe in him as a prophet. It was after seeing this scene that I knew this movie is special. I kept this movie a secret from my friends. I just knew that they wouldn't watch a movie like this. They were more into action-packed movies. A slow-paced movie like this would have been too boring for them. I had always been waiting for an opportunity like this, where I can share my love for this movie with the world. So I will seize this moment and continue onwards. Another one of the slow building but strong character arc scenes is in a prior scene where a new character arrives. At about the halfway point of the movie, the man claims to be Daniel's brother. Daniel, being skeptical, grills him and asks for proof of his identity. When I saw this scene on my first watching, I didn't realize how important this scene actually was. This guy who is impersonating Daniel's brother is actually left for the audience to interpret when it comes to his true intentions. For me, when I first watched the movie, I believed he could be his brother. And when it was revealed that he is an imposter, I was shocked, not just at the revelation, but at how Daniel shoots him in cold blood. This led to that confession scene that I talked about earlier, where he doesn't actually confess about the murder. It is a confession of how low of a person he has become, all for greed and power. On subsequent watches, this movie's perfection becomes much more apparent. Each scene is important, and the framing is masterfully done. The music creeps up on you during certain scenes. Let me talk about another moment which confirmed this movie's brilliance to me. Brilliance in all departments, from choreography, cinematography, and music to direction. The moment takes place during one of the drilling sessions, where all of a sudden oil combined with gas shoots out of the earth and catches fire. The intense music build-up along with the sudden panic which is created when HW is shown to be in danger really made this moment impactful. I was so in awe with what I was seeing here. It is such a good scene. And to be honest, the whole movie is like that, especially on rewatches. This movie is really awesome. I think of There Will Be Blood as a movie that will forever remain underrated. And that is a good thing. If too many people started to talk about it, I am pretty sure that this movie would lose its appeal. That does not mean that the movie will somehow become bad or anything. What I mean by that is, people with bad taste in movies will start judging it. Kind of people who would hate anything just for the sake of it. And I don't want that to happen to this movie. It is a very precious movie to me. And there you go, that does it. That was my review of There Will Be Blood. I'm excited to review more movies. Let me know which movies I should talk about next. We have reached 12 subscribers. That is so amazing. Thank you so much for subscribing and watching my videos. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. You don't want to miss any videos, trust me. Also, like the videos and share it with your family and friends. I'm actually really enjoying making these videos. Thank you so much again for watching. See you soon.